So your program, being self-sufficient, hasn't really been impacted much.
The only thing that would impact our business is if interest rates is a big driver of ours, because when we build a house, we want to sell them. And when interest rates kind of went up, that kind of
lowered people's buying power. My guest is Steve Speer. He is a construction project manager with East Missouri Action Agency. And what we're here to talk about is the role of that agency and what they're doing in Eastern Missouri and what he's doing as part of that organization as a construction project manager. And although this isn't technically one of their projects, this is very typical project. We actually happen to be fortunate enough that Steve is building himself a house, and we're now sitting in it in the midst of its construction. So I thought it'd be a perfect timing and scene to interview Steve and find out more about the East Missouri Action Agency and what they're doing and what they need. More importantly, what they need and how they're helping the community.
Right. Yeah, because East Missouri Action Agency is a nonprofit operation in Southeast Missouri. They get their funding.
You consider it southeast, or is it more east?
Southeast.
They don't stretch to north in St. Louis. St. Louis is kind of maybe the border.
Right. Yeah. Jefferson County has its own or its own action agency.
Oh, okay.
And then so East Missouri Action Agency handles 8 counties in Southeast Missouri, all the way from this is St. Genevieve, there's the northern side of the counties, down to Perry County, down into the county that
does it go that far?
It goes into Stoddard County.
Oh, it does go into Stoddard County. Oh, yeah. Okay, interesting.
And it goes all the way to Cape Girardeau.
All right.
And goes out west of here to St. Francis County, all the way to Washington County. And so there's 8 counties.
So what do they do?
So East Missouri actually handles programs on behalf of the federal government, mainly the federal government, and some state programs. So they handle things like the housing program for the Section 8 housing assistance for people that are low income. They also provide the Head Start program for the kids. They get the funding from the government.
Oh, so it's well beyond housing then.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize that. Okay, I thought it was specific to housing.
Oh, no.
That's just one component of all that they're doing.
Probably a fourth of it, I guess.
Okay, so it's a big component.
Yeah.
But it's not just housing. Okay.
So they run the LIHEAP program, which I guess is tied to housing also, because that's your utility assistance.
Mm-hmm.
And then they also handle women's wellness programs. They run senior centers, like for senior Meals on Wheels. They run the
that's from them. Okay, yeah. I'm familiar with that. Okay, cool.
And they also do weatherization. That's tied to housing, because that's when people that are low income and they trying to get their houses to be more efficient. So it kind of ties with the energy assistance. Instead of spending a lot of money paying for their electric and their gas, it's more efficient to fix their house so it's
not leaking all the cool air or hot air that they're generating.
So it kind of ties. So the thought is, if you make it more efficient, they need less assistance.
Right.
So it kind of works from 2 different angles. And
probably a lot of people don't even know, half their heat's leaking out the windows
or the insulation.
Insulation in the roof doesn't exist, or it's so old that it's like 1/4 of an inch or whatever, an inch.
Yeah, because probably that's the biggest. What they do, they come in and do an energy audit, and they come in with this equipment and they look for gaps, like at the top of the ceilings, air flow around windows and things like that. So that's the weatherization side of the program.
So they might not even need new windows.
Right. Yeah, they just might.
It's just that it maybe needs to be caulked or some other kind of treatment so that it prevents the energy from escaping.
Yeah. So that way they save on their energy bills.
And don't need as much assistance.
Correct. So they can be
self-sufficient.
More self-sufficient that way.
Right.
And also they do, like I say, they do all other kinds of programs. Like right now they are building a housing project through a subcontractor for apartments over by the senior center so they manage the program for the low income people, but they're also building housing, and they have several apartment buildings too.
Is that for the seniors or for anybody?
For anybody that meets, income requirements.
Okay.
Yeah. So they do have apartments. And there is a senior apartment down in Fredericktown that's mainly for seniors. So they do a wide range.
But your particular
Yeah, my grant
role.
that I was working under was a housing grant, and it was under the HUD program, but it's also more of a workforce program.
That's what I was interested in.
Yeah, the workforce
That's
program.
why he's here. I want to hear more about.
Right.
This is a very interesting program that they've put together.
Right. So what it is that the big issue with construction nowadays is getting qualified individuals to be construction guys. So what they do is they basically gave us a grant to hire 12 people, up to 12 people, and they gave us money for buying all their tools, the equipment to run the program, trucks, trailers. So we had a $350,000 grant from the federal government, and it allowed us to hire guys, train them, get them OSHA qualified, and then build houses. So it's a two-pronged side of this.
Yeah, they're getting education, and then they're getting actual work experience in the field, doing what they got trained to do.
And we're building affordable houses on top of that
through the agency.
Nice. Yeah, there's not a owner of this organization because it's a nonprofit. So it's managed by a group of 35 individuals within the community.
Do those houses help fund further education and?
Yes, the money and the profit that we make off of the houses continues the program.
Wow,
and it also goes into the.
Is there a goal in the grant that you eventually become self-sufficient through the income from the houses? That's kind of,
and that's where we are now.
Oh, you're self-sufficient already.
We are self-sufficient.
So you got the $350,000 grant, and now you're making enough through the home building that you're able to continue the program running. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So it's because the program was a 3-year program, and they got the grant in 2022, and then they started it in October 1st of 2022. And now the 3-year program was pretty much done in October of 2025. So now we're on a self-sufficient part of the program.
Mm-hmm. And he actually drove me through, what was the name of the town you drove me through?
Park Hills.
Park Hills, and show me some of the houses. And then it was kind of interesting. Even one of the participants was able to go through the education, get the training, go out, get gainful employment, and was able to buy one of those houses.
Because that's another program.
So I guess they're pretty good because he actually wanted to buy one and live in it.
Right. He's living in it right now with him and his wife and 3 kids. So
right.
And what it is that there's a program.
And they're nice. These aren't, I mean, these are nice. It's similar to this.
Yeah. This is a 2-story house, 1,600 square foot house
that he was able to
purchase. And he was able to purchase it under another program, not through East Missouri, but a program that is like a first-time homebuyer assistance program. So angles to help lower income people. And
he's been in that house for how long now?
About a year.
He's been in there a year. Okay, cool.
And he's went to this program called Skills Up program. So it's another program administered by East Missouri Action Agency that helps people that are low income if they have no skills too. So he was able to go through the Skills Up program, and then we hired him to run us through the new foundation program. So he kind of piggybacked 2 different programs. So and also his wife works for the agency too in the community services area of East Missouri Action Agency. So,
all right. So they're giving back now as well.
Right. This company.
I mean, they're getting paid, but still, I mean, it's a good benefit.
This organization is like 250 employees. So it's a pretty large. East Missouri Action Agency is upwards of 250 employees. So
that encompasses all the services.
Yeah, all the different services, all the Head Start programs. Community.
How big is your component of it?
Our component is made up of 12, up to 12 guys.
Mm-hmm. And what's the specific name of your?
EMAA New Foundation.
New Foundations. Yes. And the purpose of New Foundations
is just construction.
Is just the construction component of it.
That's the training and
coming out of Skill Up.
Correct. Well,
so you work with Skills Up, or
yeah.
Okay, so they get the education through Skills Up, and then they can get the experience through New Foundations. And you had mentioned to me that you're needing some help.
Yeah, we're always looking for guys. Yeah.
And what kind of guys are you looking for?
Yeah, just a combination of skilled and non-skilled guys at this point. We do need to backfill some of my skilled guys that's now moved on to other jobs, and also
And what kind of skills, what kind of gaps do you have right now?
I really need plumber. I really need a plumber with a little bit of experience.
So is this someone that is maybe retired, looking for something to do, that has the plumbing experience? Do you actually need somebody that's licensed?
Well, we need somebody that can.
A master plumber? Like what?
No, not a master plumber.
Okay. So can you kind of give like some specifics on?
Yeah, because mainly we try to build houses that are on crawl spaces, because the plumbing is relatively easy on a crawl space, because you can do all the plumbing underneath the floor and it's pretty easy. When it comes to building houses with
a basement
slabs or a basement, that we got to put the plumbing in the concrete. I just really don't feel comfortable with the skill set
level
we have,
right,
to put it actually in the
they're fine handling the crawl space.
Yeah, because you can put plumbing in a crawl space,
and then if something happens, you can go back and get to it and fix it.
Because
mess up a slab,
you're done.
You're having to get some jackhammers, and
it's very expensive.
Gets expensive fast. Yeah,
yes. It gets very expensive.
I guess I was talking to a septic person, and they were saying, "Well, I can put a septic in a concrete slab." He goes, "It's going to cost you. You're going to have to dig up the slab and jackhammer underneath it and get your septic in. And you're going to have to go back and backfill and then patch the slab." So he's like, it's only money,
right? So on a crawl space, you can just get underneath there, get right to the.
Do you guys are you tying into sewer lines? Are you guys is septic part of this new foundations, or
no? We're
looking mostly
in town.
So you're looking to build mainly in town.
Because it's that's mainly our focus is in town. Because outside of town, you got to have 3 acres, and then the cost of the house goes up substantially when you have to buy 3 acres and put in a septic.
Are you buying multiple lots at a time, or
that one project we had 8 lots.
8 lots. Okay.
We're finishing our 8th house right now. They're hanging drywall in it, and I think they're going to be done with the drywall yesterday. So they'll probably go in to start taping on Monday.
Okay. Cool.
And that's what's nice about this program. A lot of contractors don't pay vacation and holiday pay to their employees. Through this agency, we have it set up that they get 13 holidays and 2 weeks of vacation after a year. That's pretty rare in the construction. Sometimes some of the better contractors give them maybe a week of vacation after a year, maybe for 5 years, but most construction guys don't stay with a guy more than 5 years on average.
Right.
So we do, after a year, they get 2 weeks of vacation, which
that's really nice.
Pretty rare in the construction industry. Yeah. So that's one of the perks. That's why we don't pay a lot. And that's what the guys have to struggle with. Because when they talk to their friends, they, man, what I'm doing the same as you, I'm making, $22.50 an hour, and you're only making $18.50 an hour. Well, that $4 difference is you get 13 holidays and 2 weeks of vacation, and we have health insurance that for the employee, we pay 90% of their health insurance
premium.
And a lot of construction companies don't.
Right. We provide the program, but you're going to pay 100%.
Right. So that makes up the salary. So the pay. So that's where it's a hurdle sometimes to get these guys, because once they get in here and kind of lose track of that, you got to keep reminding them about that.
So for the unskilled folks that you're looking for, what are you looking for in terms of unskilled?
Very basic. If they've got any kind of work history. I mean, I don't want to hire a guy that's been through 10 jobs in the last year.
Right.
That's a bouncer. And I don't want to hire guys that's, had some transportation issues.
So they're going to need transportation. Yeah. They're probably going to need to live fairly local.
Pretty much. I don't want a guy that has to drive an hour to work.
Right. So St. Louis is probably out.
Yeah. And they probably wouldn't want to work for this low. Because if they're going to work, they can work up in the city and make $20 an hour. Because the city pays better. So they're not going to drive an hour to make less money.
Right.
So if they're going to work, they got plenty of opportunity in St. Louis to work.
Right. So just basically a solid work history and high school diploma.
Yeah, high school diploma. And they do get an extensive background check, too. We actually run them through fingerprints, too, because sometimes we do work in people's homes, because we not only build new houses, but we also augment the program, because there's a program
like remodel jobs.
Yeah, like the Hero. There's a program called Hero, and I can't remember what it's home efficiency rehabilitation something. Whatever. It might be just HERO, but it's a program that goes in and does. When people meet income requirements, they get new. It's tied to weatherization, but it's a different funding from weatherization. So we go into people's homes from time to time, and they need to have a background check to make sure they don't have assault issues or stealing issues and things like that. So we have to be careful of who we hire. So
because they're going to be potentially going into people's homes as well. So you're just curious, with this government shutdown, how has that impacted your agency?
Not our program, the agency quite a bit, because the weatherization program has taken quite a bit of hit right now. Some of the funding for the weatherization has been.
So that funding gets doled out on like a monthly basis?
Yeah, they basically get the grants, and they apply for these new grants every 3 years. And then right now, they get the money allocated just like all the other programs, but whenever they don't.
There's a shutdown. The money's not flowing.
The money's not coming to the agency to pay the.
So your program, New Foundation, is self-sustained, so it hasn't impacted you guys yet.
And the way ours.
How does that work with the agency? They have all these different programs, all these different funding sources. I guess they have to keep that all.
Yeah, it's a pretty major.
Isolated because they can't go and just grab New Foundation's money and fund something else.
Like the weatherization's got 12 trucks. And if one of ours breaks down,
you can't go grab a weatherization truck, and they can't grab one of yours.
Correct. Yeah.
Very really segmented.
Careful. Yes. Mm-hmm. So like if they decide to sell one of their vehicles out of weatherization, we have to bid on it,
just like anybody else would bid on it.
They can't just transfer it and give it to us.
Okay,
we have
interesting.
To bid and buy it, and so the funding streams are different, and it's a competitive bid thing. So
okay, but that's actually a good thing,
right? Yeah, it just keeps people from, I guess, messing around with government money
and commingling and. Then all this New Foundation's funding that you're self-sufficient ends up, next thing you know, your little piece is not self-sufficient because it's getting robbed. Okay, interesting. Because you have I guess I mentioned this, he's got a background in finance and accounting. I guess, is that an accounting nightmare to do because you're not in the accounting portion of this?
Oh, that's mainly what I am.
That's a big part of what you're doing. That's what your qualification was, is keeping everything straight.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah, because
he also has a background in building houses.
Yes. Yeah.
So you're like the unicorn.
Yeah. For those guys, it's rare to find.
It's rare to find a guy that's got general contractor experience and has finance and accounting background. Because you're a CPA as well, correct?
I'm not a CPA.
You're not a CPA. Oh, okay, I always thought you were a CPA. But you have a degree in accounting.
I do have a bachelor's degree in accounting and finance.
Okay.
And
a lot of work experience.
And
accounting.
Because I've been a plant controller and I've been a senior financial analyst.
For large operations.
Bigger companies, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I've got that experience. And see, and you're getting at the point of what I was going to talk about is the financing of this program. We have a local bank that we have teamed up with that helps fund the program projects. Like when we go to build a house, we get a construction loan through a local bank.
Oh, so you don't just go and just write checks for all of the.
We don't have $1 million just laying around to do
interesting. So you get a loan, you build the house,
we build the house,
you pay back the loan, you get a profit, and then you go buy another lot.
Correct.
And rinse and repeat.
That's correct.
And just like a general contractor would.
Right.
Because general contractors usually don't self-fund the project either. They're going to get it funded through work with a bank.
A lot of money. And most contractors do. That's why banks have construction loan departments. And the local bank here, First State Community Bank, does the funding for our program. So every time I get a bill, I fill out a disbursement request, take it to the lady at the bank that does the disbursement. She cuts the check. And
just like you would for this house that you're building for yourself. He's acting as you're the general contractor for this house.
Right. So when I get the bill for the
foundation, I go over there and fill out the proper paperwork to get a disbursement out of the loan.
Correct. And they cut the check and mail it.
Can you maybe explain that? that little process, that might be interesting.
If people are interested in how, and that's really all general contractors do it the same way. So you basically go in and you meet with your banker and then tell them the project up front, what you're wanting to do. And you put together a pretty detailed listing of all the different components, like what's the concrete going to cost, what's the excavating going to cost, what's the framing going to cost, what's the material for the framing going to cost, what's the plumbing going to cost. All the different components need to be line itemed out. Then you get the bottom line number, and then you put a projected sales price of what you think you're going to sell it for. And if the bank thinks it's a viable project, then they'll loan you money against it.
What if you're not going to sell it? Can you still get a construction loan?
But you have to get the loan approved up front, because like when we're building.
So you get a loan, you get a home purchase loan approved up front.
Typically, it's if they're going to give you money to build it, they're going to give you money to roll it over into a long-term 30-year mortgage. So while you
usually go through that same bank then?
Yeah,
okay.
It's a lot easier to go through the same bank, because that way
you got less closing costs. You probably have an extra several $1,000s of points or whatever through that second closing.
Have to be reappraised, and all
right?
Because it's already been appraised up front. And what they do, they come out from time to time and they haven't been out on this one, which is surprising by now. But they usually come out about.
You get a pretty long history with these guys.
Yeah, but they still have a
fiduciary duty to make sure, even though they know you, like, let's make sure that foundation got poured and Steve didn't just have his friend give him
like we
$30,000
$70,000 against his house. Does it exist?
Right. Or is it still an empty lot?
Down the road instead of where it was supposed to be built.
Right. Because all the liens are tied to this particular parcel.
Piece of property.
Okay. Oh, wow. I guess so there's tons of scams.
Oh, yeah. If you're a major scammer, you could definitely, if they didn't check on you, all of a sudden they
literally
the house, they come out and look at it. It's like,
literally you could build it on the next lot unless they actually checking things out, and they have no access to that property.
Right.
Wow.
If you were a major scammer, that'd be a good scam. You could, if you get by with it, but you wouldn't get by with it. But
because they do check up on these things.
And then whenever you're done, if the house ain't there and they got a loan somewhere else, they don't know where the house is. That would be a bad situation. But yeah, that's what they do. Their loan committee guys usually come out on Wednesdays, and they have different areas they hit like every week. So yeah,
I guess they just do like a drive-by. They know that this is definitely the address.
Walk in and kind of look at everything, because they do it all the time. I mean, they're not construction guys, they're bankers, but they still want to say, well, yeah, the windows are there. Yeah, the studs are there. Yeah, the
roof's on.
Look good. They look like they should. And, and they see the wiring going in. So they go, okay, these guys are making progress. They're moving along, because they don't want to get a loan started and then take 3 years to finish it. So they want to see continual progress towards the end of it. So if they were to come in this Wednesday, which they might, I haven't heard from them yet, they might want to say, yeah, okay, I see the electric's in, I see the plumbing's in, and I see they're getting ready for, drywall. So that makes them feel better about their investment.
Gives them warm fuzzies.
Yeah, because it's their money that's in this house right now.
Right. It's really more of their risk than anything.
Right. They just want to make sure.
So do you sign a personal guarantee when you do? Okay, so you had to do a personal guarantee.
Yeah, we have a loan, not for the agency. I mean, the agency's got that personal, but for this house here. Oh yeah, we have the loan. They loan the money on our ability to pay, and then, like I say, once the house is complete, then they'll.
So when they charge interest on that, it's only interest on the dispersed amounts?
Correct.
So like if you're going to get a $150,000 construction loan, if you spend the entire $150,000 on the build, you're probably only going to pay interest on $150,000 for a few weeks.
Correct.
Because that's at the end of it, and then that gets rolled over into your 30-year note.
Correct.
Okay, cool. So in the beginning, you do the foundations, only maybe 10, 20,000, you're not paying, you're just paying on that, not the full 150,000. So I guess the interest actually isn't too bad.
Yeah, I think it's like on a 70,000 right now, it's about $292. I think it's what the interest.
Now, do you pay the interest monthly while it's being built?
Correct.
Because they want their profit.
They want their interest payment on their money they borrowed. Yeah.
Okay. And then what's the typical build time on something like this that they like to see?
Typical, they give you up to a year. They give you up to a year to do it, but the average house shouldn't take more than 6 months.
6 months is kind of more typical.
Yeah.
So that gives you actually double the time.
Right. Just in case you kind of, like this one here has been challenging. It's been struggling because of the issue with my framers having a hard time getting guys to work. That goes back to this industry that my framer was sometimes there's 5 of them that's usually, if all of his guys showed up every day for 2 weeks, they would have framed this house. But there was a couple of times it was just him and one other guy. So it's slow.
Moving kind of slow.
It went from a 2
In some jobs, I guess, when you're framing a house, doing a wall, you maybe want 3 people, right? Is that kind of...
Well, the day that we said trusses, all 5 guys were here. I think
you almost have to have all 5 guys
told
here.
His guys, if you guys don't show up tomorrow, where's trusses, then don't even show up.
And I guess you had a crane too then?
Yeah, the framer had his own crane.
Oh, he had his own crane. Okay. So you got to coordinate. That's kind of your job. I guess being here this week for 2 or 3 days, and unfortunately I was only here with the electrician contractor, but it was interesting to see, because he had told me that earlier. It's important that you show up to the job site. You don't have to show up to the job site daily. How did you word it to me? You don't have to show up daily, but you got to be there whenever the contractors are there. If you've got contractors there, you better be on site or
show up in the morning to make sure everything is good. I always want to make sure.
And I guess these guys are good contractors because I see him looking at the plans. And he's like, I'm not sure about this, Steve. And then, we kind of looked at a few things and then it was very interesting. I had no idea about strobing of a ceiling fan with ceiling lights. And he's looking at where you had spec'd out everything to be. And he's like, I don't know, Steve. I think you're going to get some strobing off of this. You maybe want to move those lights a little bit.
I never thought about
if he would have
that.
just gone with the plan and you came in here and you're sitting in your living room watching TV, you're going to have this flashing light.
Well, babe, we're going to have to either raise the fan so it don't hit the lights so
or just
much,
take it out or
just don't turn the lights on when the fan's on. That kind of stuff.
Right. So that's the kind of thing that you run into, I guess.
That I'm not even thinking.
And actually, I guess another thing that he had mentioned that came out through this was, if you're right-handed versus left-handed and you're doing a one-sided sink with a worktop, where are the drawers? Are the drawers on the right side or the left side? So there's a lot of little intricacies that might have got missed in the plan. The plan looks great on paper, but until you actually physically start getting into the house and
kind of thinking about
setting switches and setting plugs and setting sinks and how you're going to have door swings and all this other stuff, it all looks great, but then it's like physically being there in the 3D.
Yeah. And I guess that would be the advantage of a real architect to draw your plans. They probably think of stuff like that, but these plans, I pretty much drew these up myself.
So these are hand-drawn plans. So I have to do a shout out. Oh my God, I just went blank on his name. So I have an acquaintance. Down in Dallas, and what he does is he works with architects and he does the 3D walkthroughs.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That way.
So his whole business is taking architectural plans, and then I'll put a link to him and I'll confirm that that's what he does, but I'm pretty sure that's what he does. And he does these 3D walkthroughs, which I guess can help avoid a lot of those kinds of situations.
Especially if you're not a hands-on guy like I am, you just say, here's the plans, blow it out. And then, like you say, then you have those kind of issues. That guy would probably catch those kind of things.
Right.
Because he probably knows.
They could probably even, now with AI and everything, I mean, how much has AI entered into the home building? Like you can maybe even simulate, air vents and the airflows and the rooms. That's probably something that hasn't really been possible, 20 years ago.
Probably not. There has been a lot of changes in construction in the last 20 years, which that AI is probably the next phase of this thing. Because copper was very standard water lines 30 years ago, but it became so expensive that everybody shifted over to PEX starting about 30 years ago. Now it's standard in the plumbing industry. Barely do you see a plumber use copper anymore. Took them about 10 years to get all the plumbers.
What about the microplastics concern?
Oh, I don't know about that. And the water lines.
Yeah.
But I guess there was issues with that. But
I mean, we all drink out of plastic Coke bottles.
Yeah, so maybe that would be the next generation when maybe people start having issues with that.
But right now, I guess you're saying they've used it for 30 years. And there's
PEX has been pretty much the standard for about the last 20.
Because my house was built in 1999, and I've got copper within PVC drain.
PVC or the Schedule 40 PVC.
Schedule 40.
Yeah, that's still the standard. The drains are still standard.
Not lead.
Yes.
Used to be, was it lead?
Probably clay,
No. It wasn't lead. It was steel. And they used lead to I guess, as like a joint, like
a soldering kind
like
of
a soldering joint.
But on your drains, that'd be fine. So it's already out of your body by then. But it's going back into the water system in the city, so that would probably be an issue for the city. Right. All that lead going back into the water system.
Yeah, and I guess there's something to be said about solder too, right?
Because isn't that an issue up in Michigan with Flint, Michigan? They had all this lead in their water up there, and they had to go out. Is
lead in solder that they use for copper?
I think so. I mean, I don't know for sure because I'm not a plumber, but I know that they said that, up in Flint, Michigan, they had a huge issue with their water lines, so they got to change out all those.
So you'll have to watch one of my other podcasts. So I'll put the link here for the podcast with I believe his name's Daniel. Sorry, Daniel, can't remember off the top of my head. But he goes into the whole building biology. Remember, I was talking about hardwiring your TVs versus using the Wi-Fi on the TV. Put a Cat 5 into the TV, so you don't have to. You can eliminate as many Wi-Fi appliances as you can in your house. So, have you decided to go ahead and hardwire, or are you still thinking about it?
I would like to do this one in the bedroom. I think we can maybe save those two areas and in the living room downstairs, like we were saying, the 3 spaces,
the 3 TVs, so just hardwire it in.
I'll probably have to do that because I can probably.
The other thing that's nice about the hardwire, because I just found out last night. So I'm at my uncle's house and he's got a TV and we were wanting to do something. I can't remember what, and I was trying to figure out what's the Wi-Fi password. Okay, if you hardwire it in, it's in. There's no password. Just plug in and go. And so if you change your Wi-Fi password, it doesn't matter. But if you have all these Wi-Fi devices and you end up changing your Wi-Fi password, now you got to go into each TV, each video camera, all your different appliances and change the Wi-Fi password. Right. So if it's just your laptop and phone, you got, maybe 2 or 3, maybe 4 devices and that's it. If all the other, your cameras and your TVs are all hardwired in, and you just have a lot less headaches whenever you do decide to. I guess you're supposed to change it every so often. I don't know.
Your password?
I guess. I don't know.
For security reasons?
I guess for security.
So to keep people from watching you?
They're probably already watching you.
The Samsung wasn't that the TV that came out. They had cameras that could sit there and watch you watching them. Like, that's crazy.
Oh, really?
Samsung.
I didn't hear about that.
Samsung, about 10 years ago, that was a big thing.
They got caught.
Because they had TVs in the TV.
They had cameras in the TVs watching people, tracking the eyes and all that.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's amazing. So we talked about your agency, the current needs, both skilled and unskilled. Mm-hmm. It was interesting that with the government shutdown, the agency as a whole has been impacted.
Yes.
But what would you call it? Like a department or a program? How do you guys term it?
Program would be.
So your program, being self-sufficient, hasn't really been impacted much.
At all. The only thing that would impact our business is if interest rates is a big driver of ours, because when we build a house, we want to sell them. And when interest rates kind of went up, that kind of
lowered people's buying power.
Yeah, it kind of took some of the.
But I think it come back down a little bit.
A little bit, but it's never going to go back to where it was, and it doesn't need to. And everybody will tell you that 3% is just crazy. It drove the price of everything nuts,
right?
Because houses doubled in price, so you really didn't get anywhere.
Right.
If the interest rates are half, but the cost of the house is twice, you're back to the same amount of money. Yeah. Your monthly payment's still $1,500 a month.
Right.
It's either a 3% and you're paying and buying a $500,000 house, or it's 6% and you're buying a $250,000 house.
It's the same house at the end of the day.
It's the same house at the end of the day. Your payment's still $1,500 a month.
I know. I see a lot of that in Florida. I look at some of these neighborhoods where they're getting $500,000 for these,
houses should be 200.
80 years old, and they need so much work.
And everybody in your podcast, everybody that listens probably knows that the people aren't going to sell their house that's got a 3% mortgage on it to upgrade to a nicer house, because not only are they paying more for their house, the new one, they're also going to double their payment
interest,
because
right?
Interest went up. So everybody knows.
I think I'm at 5, so I got a pretty decent rate.
So, but you're still in that. If you can get a new one at 6.5, you're not too far off. But if you were in a 3% rate, going to a 6% rate, you got to
really think twice before you get out of that house.
And that's what's happening to a lot of the move-up home buyers right now. That
they're like,
we're going to move up, but it's going to cost us. We're going to go from $1,500 a month to $2,500 a month, and we're really not moving up that much to double our monthly payment.
Right.
It doesn't.
I didn't realize how bad that does impact things.
Oh, huge. Yeah, that's why a lot of people aren't moving around as much as they used to.
I guess that got lowered during COVID.
Yeah,
was that the big driver to lower the rates?
Because I think it was in 2019, like when Trump was in last time, he drove the rates down. But I think it went too far, and it really jacked up the system because it overinflated everything. Mm-hmm. So inflation got nuts on houses.
Right.
And then taxes are.
And then we just had like a bit of, I would say we just had a bit of a correction, but we're still super high.
Yeah. And if you think about it, if the value of your house went up artificially because it shouldn't have, now your assessed value on your house went up. Now
and
your
insurance.
Taxes are going up. And now the cost of insuring that house went up because now you're insuring a.
My house literally went up. I tried to buy it 2021, spring of 2021. So this is after, I guess, the rates have gone down already. Tried to buy it and became unemployed. So they went and closed the loan. Oh, yeah. And I was buying the house for $400. Well, no, I didn't. They went, I was done. So I go back and buy the same house a year later. It's $600,000 in 1 year. It went up. Same house. Same house.
So the insurance went up on it, and the taxes went up on it too.
Yeah, because I'm paying a higher price.
Yeah, because
it's crazy.
It
went up 50%. Went up 50%.
Yeah. So I'm just saying.
And then it went up from there.
So it's just really.
It went up even from there. Now it's come back down a little bit, but it even went up considerably even from there, which is the good news. At least I haven't lost. But it's just crazy.
Yeah, because that's when you compound all of that, it's just like you're.
Nah, I'm just one guy. And you take that across the board, millions of people.
It's a huge amount of money that just insurance and tax guys are getting.
Right.
And it's the same exact house.
Right.
But your income hasn't gone up that much.
No, income hasn't gone up. Not enough to offset that. No, not really.
So that's where a lot of people are, that's what's really hurting a lot of people, that their taxes. And then that's the thing in Missouri, I signed this thing that once you turn 62, you can lock your property taxes so it won't go up again on your primary home. So that's kind of nice.
But if you were to move,
it starts over.
It starts over.
And you have to reapply for that every year too, because they want to make sure you didn't sell the house or something didn't change.
That's an interesting program. So that's going to encourage you to stay with the same house.
Yeah. Yes. Because if you're in a house like a long time.
Oh, so because you had mentioned this is not going to be your forever house, but I mean, gee whiz, if you can lock in your property taxes, maybe you need to rethink that.
Can't live your life too much like that. I mean, it's not enough to make or break anything if your taxes.
Really? Because I know you pretty well, and you got your pencil sharpened and you're calculating things.
But if I just want to live somewhere else, I'm not going to live there because I can save $30 a month on my insurance or my taxes.
You think that's all it would amount to?
Probably, but $30 a month to seniors. Some seniors
on a fixed income.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
and probably over the last. Because my house, whenever I had it in Farmington, it would start at $824 with my taxes in 2015. Now it's up to $1,400 in 2025. So that went up
$600.
Almost.
That's $50 a month.
80%.
Oh, I see what you're saying, though. Yeah. It's still not a lot.
It's not enough to make me really
want to stay there forever.
Right. But the $50 here and the electric is going up $50 a month. TV is going up $50 a month. when it all and the food goes up $100 a month. I mean, you're now $300 a month more. So each little component adds to that.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're on a fixed retirement income, $400 a month makes a difference between maybe going on.
What's the name of that program in Missouri?
I really don't know.
But if you're in Missouri and you're 62, you can apply to lock in your current property tax rate. So the counties have to abide by the state law on that, because the counties are the ones that manage the property taxes on homes.
Right. And it doesn't count on rental property. So if you have rental property, it's only in your primary residence.
How would that work on, like, say, a duplex where your permanent residence is in one side of the duplex and you rent the other one out?
They might not let you do it since part of it is
rented. And it's rental income. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. So the primary goal of your agency is to build affordable housing of your program.
Yes.
Not the agency, the program.
The primary initially that we got the grant for was a work program to train.
So it was a work program
to launch guys into the industry for downstreaming for contractors that need.
Oh, so it was a work so a work and affordable housing program.
Yeah.
So the goal is to build affordable housing, get guys actual work experience, and then by building those homes, you fund your program to where they don't need additional grant monies.
Correct. Mm-hmm. So they give you the seed money to get it started, and it's your job to keep it going. Mm-hmm.
And that took $350,000. That's interesting.
Because we had to buy trucks. They were, a truck and a trailer is $40,000, so that was 120 of it just for the equipment. We bought 3 trucks and 3 trailers. We bought all the tools.
What trailer did you need? Like what kind of trailer? A box trailer to hold all of the tools in, so you could keep it locked up.
Right, because you can't go onto a job site and work without a place to keep all your tools.
Mm-hmm. What kind of tools are you buying these guys?
All the way from hammers. We supplied the hammers, the saws, table saw. I think each team.
Did you get a saw stop table saw? Wasn't in the budget.
What?
Saw stop.
Oh, no. Is that where it automatically stops to keep you from cutting your finger off?
Yeah.
No, we didn't.
Those weren't in the budget. Yeah, they're about 4 or 5 times the cost of a regular table. I guess, I don't know if they're that much more. Probably double. Right. If you got a high quality construction site table saw, what does those cost?
Probably $400.
$400. I'm not talking about the tiny one. I'm talking about a contractor, like a larger contractor. Yeah, with a stand roller, about $400 or $500. Yeah, I think the saw stop runs about $1,800.
Yeah,
so it's a bit more.
That's part of training them. Hey, don't cut your dang finger off.
Yeah, happens to the best of them though.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm on all the forums, and I've owned it for 10 years, and they show a picture of the saw blade stuck into the brake, and then their finger with the 2 stitches on it, because I still got my finger, 2 stitches, but I still got my finger. It cost me $100. I think those brakes are like $100 for the brake, $100 for your blade. So it's about $200 when you have an accident, but
because
most guys would gladly pay $200 and keep their finger.
Because there was a guy that he was a really good carpenter, and he had a stub as a finger. But all those old guys from the 50s and 60s, they
all had missed a finger
somewhere along the line. Just part of it. Because just like I talked to a guy that he had been a framer for 20 years, and it had happened. You just get going, and you shoot a passo gun right through. I think he hit it right here. It didn't shatter bone in the fingers, but it just happens. And because it's just like anything, you get so in a routine, and you don't. I mean, he'd been framing for 20 years.
He's off 1/4 of an inch,
his mind got
3/8. All it took was 3/8 of an inch if you've been just a little bit over the other way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's construction. It's not as dangerous as cutting trees, where usually those guys don't last very long. Guys that cut trees,
really,
if you're not careful. That's when
tree lands on you.
That's why workers' comp is really expensive for
tree service
and roofers, because they fall off the roof from time to time and shattered their feet. And that's the thing I was gonna. We do cover workers' comp and all of our. And a lot of contractors that aren't really reputable contractors don't have work. Like my framer, that he does have workers' comp, but he's got 5 guys, and he's a reputable framer, so he's got workers' comp. But
as a GC, though, don't you?
I don't have
check
to
all that.
Yes, I have to. Through the agency, I have to have workers' comp. Building my house here, my electrician probably doesn't have workers' comp, but I guess I got to be careful of that. But I don't know if they audit that or anything. But usually, if you hire one guy, they don't carry workers' comp on themselves.
Right. He might be a licensed electrician, but he's working for. If he's moonlighting, he probably doesn't have it.
Yeah. But through the agency, we're required to, because if we hire somebody that doesn't.
But as a GC, you probably should have it. When you hire somebody.
Yeah, you should, to protect yourself. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know I had a guy come by my house, and I had a palm tree that was heavily top heavy. And he's like, I'll do it. And I'm like, okay, I need your license and your insurance and this. And he's like, I don't have it. And I'm like, he's like, I goes, how much are you going to pay the other guy? I go, $500. I'll do it for 100. I'm like, you don't understand. Yeah. I go, that tree falls on my neighbor's house, falls on my house, falls on you. That's all on me. Right. And $400 isn't going to pay for it.
No, it's not going to pay for a new roof on your neighbor's house.
No. I mean, typical repair on a concrete tile I don't think you can get the guy come out and even do repair for probably less than $1,500, no matter how small it is.
If that guy did drop a tree on your neighbors, you know what he's going to be doing.
Yeah.
Joe, we're out of here.
Yeah, we're out of here. See you later.
Yeah.
Exactly. I actually ended up dropping that tree myself, and I cut the wedge to drop it basically in front of my house because it was heavily weighted towards my neighbor. So I was going to drop it to the front of my house, like parallel to the front. I was hoping it would drop about 45 degrees to the front of my house. It dropped 45 degrees in front of my neighbor's house. That's how heavy weighted it was. It did not, and I'm talking the wedge, it dropped 180 degrees from the wedge.
Oh my gosh.
So it dropped sideways from the wedge. Does that make sense to you?
That would have been a $50,000 deal for you.
So, the wedge was here. I'm thinking it should drop this way. It dropped that way.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It could have been bad.
At least it didn't drop on my house or theirs.
That time. I don't know if I'd try it again after that experience. I think I'd hire somebody.
Yeah. Well, I tried to get my tree trimmer. I wanted him, and I think he thought he was joking. I'm like, how much does it do it? He goes, $500. I go, okay. I go, I want to cut it down. How much more is it going to cost me for me to cut it down? He's like, what? I go, I want to cut it, but I want you here.
To make sure.
To make sure it's right. And I go, how much more is that going to cut? And he, I guess he thought I was joking. But I mean, you're a contractor. You get that. If a homeowner says, I want to cut it, but I need you here to watch, you're not going to do it for the same price as if you did it.
Well, I was just saying, if you're wanting me to accept the liability if it lands on that house,
you're going to charge more.
I want to charge more because I got to take the risk.
Right, exactly. I mean, that's what I knew. That's what I knew. I was like, so we'll do it. And, he probably wouldn't have done a rope, but if I'm doing it, I said, let's do a rope on this and tie this thing off and, some other things, a little extra work. Because I knew it's, as you said, it's a higher risk. So it's going to cost me more than if he had done it. Because I can guarantee I know what he would have done. He would have gone up there and he would just cut the top off.
That's what most tree guys, to be safe, they'll put ropes on top and bottom and cut it in the middle and let it swing down and then lower it down to the ground. That's what most
small pieces. Yeah.
Yeah. That way it's a controlled cut. That's why they charge you money, because it takes hours to get up there and tie everything off. So
and then just do one small cut at a time.
Cut it at the bottom and let it hopefully fall where it needs to fall.
Yeah.
These guys probably.
I can see why the insurance is high, because those trees get a mind of their own.
Yeah, it can be very spooky, and the guys can get hurt. I mean, a tree
falls back instead of forward.
Kicks them and breaks their wrist or something like that. Now they got to work with comp.
Yeah. So
that's why. Yeah, I was about to say tree.
I think I've only fell about 4 trees, and so far I've hit one house, and that was it. I did hit my cable box. So I had a little cable box pedestal, and it jammed it all the way down to the ground.
I'm gonna turn this
Well,
on.
Steve, thanks so much for sharing all that. And just to reiterate, the name of the agency is East Missouri Action Agency, and your program is New Foundations, which is a work training program, and currently in need of both skilled and unskilled people.
Correct.
Okay, and then we'll put the website and all the links there. I guess they have like social media pages and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. Well, thanks so much. Appreciate you coming on.
Okay, Kirk.